I'm gonna tell you, I started listening to this podcast. I should probably give him a shout out on September 11th. Shit, and you might be right. There's some shady shit with that. I didn't look into it enough.
Tower 7.
So it's called Theories of the Third Kind, and it's their episode number 65, 9/11.
You know who you got? You know who's really in tune with that?
Sam Tripoli.
Besides Sam Tripoli,
Eddie
White
Bravo.
Mike.
White Mike.
White Mike is pretty.
White Mike.
You got to listen to him on it too. He's solid with
Yeah,
it.
it's called Theories of a Third Kind. Podcast is fantastic. It's
Theories of a-
three people. And I think one dude was in the Waco, Texas cult.
Waco, Texas. So, do you see
what
that?
is
That
that?
one's so interesting
was
too.
crazy.
That one
Can you make it
piss
bigger?
you off.
Did you watch the Netflix Waco?
Of course.
Oh, man.
That one will piss you off.
It did. I did.
The way the government handled that, they really fucked them. The media fucked them.
Exactly. The media.
super fucked them.
Man, so I was deep
Saying that
down.
he's hurting, abusive to kids.
It wasn't even
And
like
they came in there and they did like investigation. Like, no, he didn't touch any kids.
at all, but
What are
they
y'all
didn't
talking
want to
about?
hear that. Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas.
I don't know. That.
About this
With
like cult. It wasn't even a
Davidians?
cult. It wasn't even.
Oh, that's like from the 90s.
Yes.
Like 93?
93, 97 maybe.
Yeah.
But back to September 11th, dog.
talk that.
It is mind blowing. When you start hearing the details, you're like, what?
I'm trying to tell you. Yeah.
So you know the security of the tower, of the 9/11 towers, like the Twin Towers, the
Twin
security.
Towers? Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, it's Bush's cousin who runs security.
Why he said it like that?
I know, right? Hey, you know that Bush's
Hey,
cousin that runs
did you
security?
know when the first plane ran into the building?
building, the first one.
The South Tower, they got on the intercom, were like, stay calm, it's not a big deal, just stay there, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They told him to stay in that building? Why?
Then did you know that some of the floors on that building were cleared out ahead of time? Before that day, like just some of the floors
I
were
heard
dead
about that,
empty.
yeah.
Some people didn't
Cleared
go to
out.
work that day.
Exactly.
Were they told?
Exactly.
Or they,
We
they
don't
don't say
know.
that.
This floors were empty. Did you know that? Remember President Bush, who was the president when 9/11 happened, George Bush Jr. When he was doing like a thing at a elementary school, and when they went and told him, they're like, it doesn't make sense because they tell him he's not like, oh shit. They tell him, and any other time they're like, yo. So they're flying these planes into buildings, dog. You've announced you're here. If they're going, like, you're the main target. We should get the fuck out of here. Remember, he just chilled there. Didn't rush out or nothing. He just chilled there. When you start looking into it, and I'm not a big conspiracy guy,
No.
Look
but you
into
hear
it.
all this shit, you're like,
Go ahead.
what?
Yeah, it's mind boggling. Yeah, you just got.
And then did you know, because you know George Jr., I think they call him George Bush.
George Bush.
George Bush Jr.
George W.
George W. Bush. You know he was the head of the CIA before he was president, and before that he owned like a construction company. And you know his main business.
in Texas, right?
You know his main business. You know the
Put
business.
me on game, dog.
Osama bin Laden's family paid him a ton of money. So when all this happened and there's like a big like uproar and like
Wait, George Bush Sr.
George Bush Sr.
Got it.
No, George W. Bush.
Was CIA. Oh, I thought you said
No, he was
senior.
head of CIA.
Oh, God. Okay.
Before he was president. But a lot of his business was with bin Laden's.
And now he doing art and shit.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
It's
But
crazy.
when you
you
look
see his
into it, you're
painting?
like, what?
Yeah, you think about
His
it.
painting-
And then so America's known for having the best Air Force like in the world by far, not even close.
Yeah.
And they could have easily taken out those planes. And there was warnings before, but no one supposedly took them serious. So they could have easily taken out
What,
those
like
planes.
like days before there was warning.
There are all those warnings leading up to it. A ton of warnings. They just ignored them.
Damn. I remember watching that shit on TV when I was.
Me too. I was
What,
a freshman in college. My dad, I call my dad, and he's like, can you believe this? I'm like, what? He's like, God damn it, turn on a fucking TV. I turn on, I'm like,
He's all
oh.
aggressive?
He was so mad. and then also the way they said that they had like these engineers talking about the way the planes hit the buildings. And like, yeah, they collapsed due to the fuel, the fuel from the jet fuel. Jet fuel don't work like that. Because like when they were digging up, like when the towers fell and the way they fell,
Yeah.
they were digging through trying to find shit, you know? There was like lava, like it was melted. Jet fuel don't do that.
Jet fuel don't do that.
Jet fuel don't do that.
So it's
What does that?
They have the theories on what does it. And the way they fell. The way they fell is just like when they demolished buildings.
Yeah.
That's the way. Notice how they didn't go like this. They
Yeah.
didn't go like that. They came down. They came down.
set up.
Okay.
And then the plane, I think it was flight 93. So So Flight 93 that ran into the Pentagon. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Another one. That's what I was
Remember
going to bring up.
they ran into the Pentagon. What's interesting about that is the Pentagon. They had a guy who works for the Pentagon talk about this. They have a system there where they think it's close. They have these missiles that shoot it the fuck down. So Dick Cheney was the vice president. You know, Dick Cheney, when they told him, hey, they hijacked the plane, he goes, shoot it down.
Yep.
They wanted to shoot it down because they thought they were going to run another bill, and he goes, shoot it down. So they say that.
So they could have saw that. You're saying they could have saw that plane coming.
They could have.
Oh yeah, but here's what, because they stopped all air travel, so
Yeah.
any planes in the air were hijacked. So when that plane ran into the Pentagon, a lot of people who were on the outside, like that live around the area, said they saw a rocket hit the plane.
And
So
that
right
was-
before it got there, it hit it and then it crashed. Here's what's interesting though: all the shit, like all the documentation of Al Qaeda, Bin Laden, George Bush construction business, all that, where that plane hit, what do you think it hit? It hit all those documents. All those documents are gone now. So the area that plane ran into is where they keep all their documents.
And so they just
They're gone.
dispose it. Exactly. So they don't have any traces back to the corruption. Damn, that's crazy. So
Again, I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but there's so many
Yeah.
coincidences. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, it's like the JFK story.
Yeah.
Whereas there's
JFK,
so
I
much-
know for a fact is.
Got it.
We know for a fact that is not a conspiracy.
Didn't they say Bush Senior had something to do with that? Or
No. It was Hoover.
Oh, JFK.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just digging into it. I
Dude.
yeah.
I listen to this podcast. I'm like, what?
You should also listen to this. Like I'm still like deep diving in the Federal Reserve Act.
But that same podcast goes in. So they go in all conspiracy. So they went to JFK, and
How do you go to that one?
theirs was mafia. A lot of people go into the Cuba ties, which I don't really fuck with, but they go deep into how the mafia basically set up JFK. Well documented for sure. The mafia killed him. But then also they go into Pizzagate. You know Pizzagate? Pizzagate, how it's
We talked about this.
Oh yeah, you talking about? Didn't you say
I went and
something?
ate there. I talked to the owner. Dude, I didn't know the owner was a fucking creep.
Like a
Oh my,
crook?
oh no, super creepy. Super creepy.
What do you mean? Explain.
Well, where do I begin? It's like the coincidences of, so the reason all this got out was through Wikipedia leaks, where they got this government officials email list. And his whole email list had all these key phrases like hidden terms about pizza. That's why they call it Pizzagate. So they say, hey, I need a cheese pizza with pepperoni.
Yeah.
Well, that in the pedophile ring is like a way you describe kids. So I need a
Pepperoni.
pizza with sausage, little boys. I need pizza with cheese only, little girls, whatever. They have all these hidden terms. And when you get deep into it, you're like, holy fuck, dude. It's nuts.
So that's
It'll make you sick. I had to turn the Pizzagate one off. If you have kids, you don't want to listen to that
hell
shit.
no.
It got so that's why I was listening to on the flight. I was like, this shit is so dark.
Oh damn!
That's why you're so groggy on it.
But then I went to the Waco one will just, if you look more into Waco, it will drive you fucking, it's so fucked up the way the FBI and the government dealt with that. It's so fucked up. So basically, he had this compound, right? He had this compound. He had a family there.
Yeah.
And people, families moving there. They had lawyers that would quit their jobs
Operation.
to become part of his cult, quote unquote cult. They had like all this stuff going on. They had a lot of arms, like they had a lot of guns and shit. And someone like snitched on him to like, at a bar, like, hey, this dude's hurting kids and stuff like that. So the media picked up on it, and the media made this whole like big deal about it. No, like the Texas government didn't give a fuck. And the guy's doing his thing on his land; they don't give a fuck. And then
As far as him having a cult,
yeah, they don't care. And so they were like, oh, he has guns there, he has illegal guns there, and he's hitting kids. None of that was true.
No.
So then he starts getting, investigated. And then that's when they were like, hey, we have a warrant. We're going to check out the house. And they had dogs on the property. This is what they think. They had dogs on the property. So when these ATF agents came on the property, there's dogs for protection. The dogs started barking. The ATF agents shot the dogs.
Pissed them off.
And the people in the house thought they were shooting at them, so they start firing. So they start firing back. They kill some FBI ATF agents. Well, they don't fuck with that. Now you're talking about egos with the government. They start firing back. Then they're like, come out. And then all the Waco people are like, dude, this we're not coming out. You guys are fucking with us for no reason. We never hit kids. They did investigation. They never touched kids. The kids were treated great there. And then also the media played the narrative, oh, they live with no power, no water, no food. Yeah, because you guys shut off the power. Like, you guys shut off the power. That's why he was like, Dad, we don't live like that. Correct. We have a great setup here.
So what did Netflix didn't cover that?
But Netflix, they did, but it was like a more watered down.
They did, because the way they and here's the thing. So finally, they're like, all right, you can go, let's get rid of these people. Go in there and get rid of them, because they weren't doing shit.
Correct.
So they go in there and get rid of them, because it became an ego thing, because they shot public officials. Which you can't do.
Yeah, 100%.
So they go in there and get them. So they release this gas that's supposed to be harmful, like not harm. It's supposed to be harmless.
Into the compound?
Bro, listen to this. They drive a fucking military tank into the house, release the gas. Well, where they hit the brick wall, where all the kids and women were. So the wall falls, crushes like 10 of the kids, crushes their skulls, kills them instantly. Then the gas they pumped in the thing, it was so much gas, the concentration was so high, all the women and children died. So they killed like 27 kids. And then those ATF agents, the FBI agents, there's pictures of them with the ashes of the bodies celebrating. And the kids, the FBI was like, the negotiators like, hey, let the kids go and we'll give you water and milk for the babies, because they need energy and fuel. So they're like, all right, we're gonna let some kids go. That makes no sense. The kids didn't want to leave. They taught kids into leaving, like, don't worry, we're all gonna get out here soon. Don't worry. So the FBI would take these kids and house them in a government housing. But they'd be there around FBI agents, and FBI agents, with all their stuff, tore through all their stuff, cut up their teddy bears, talk shit to them all the time. And then when they raided the house, they said, hey, everyone has to gather around, turn on the TV. It was like, watch this. And that's when they lost all their family. It's fucked up.
Did you know in 1913, FBI was formed and created? Same year as the IRS?
The IRS coming after you?
No.
You're not paying taxes?
You didn't pay your taxes?
Don't. No, again, I'm paying.
You pay that student loan?
No, I'm just saying, because he was talking about that
student loan.
With time out, brother. I'm just saying the FBI was formed in 1913. Did you know that? Did you know why they were formed? Because we can go into it. Because I'm on it. I'm on this research. I'm on this journey.
Listen to that podcast. So they do the research. And then they also get into that Vegas shooter. That's even more weird.
We was talking about that this weekend, though. Okay, but I don't want to bring up. Oh, the Malaysian plane?
I'm not a big conspiracy guy.
You keep saying that.
You keep saying it.
It
was just this week. They're like an hour long. You go through all of them.
Especially on that flight.
That 9/11 one, I was like, fuck, dude. And then they have the people
one, huh?
calling in to their family, or they have the flight attendant calling. Fuck.
Yeah. She
calls down. She's like, they're like, yes, go ahead, whatever, 997. She's like, hey, the plane's been hijacked. And he's like, what? She's like, the plane's been hijacked. 2 people and the pilot were stabbed in the front. It's like, what the fuck? And these fucking idiots, the Al Qaeda who took over the plane, they were trained in America, trained in Florida actually, how to fly planes. But these were new planes, so they turned on a thing and they thought they were talking to the plane. And on the plane, they thought they were telling everyone, hey, just stay calm, don't be a hero, everyone, you'll be fine. But they were talking to air control. Yeah. That's how air control found out they hijacked the planes. Mm-hmm. It's nuts. And then you hear these Muslim guys say a prayer, and then they crash the plane into the ground.
Sheesh. That's how they normally do. They scream.
It's crazy, dog. But that 9/11 shit, the way it fell, the jet fuel, the ties to the bushes, it's nuts. And Osama, it's nuts, dude.
So are you on the fence now? Are you on because earlier you was like, yo,
yeah, I know.
It just sounds more fun to just go with it, but now
no, there's too many. Too many. Too many ties to it.
Knowledge is power, man. You gotta,
It'd be nice if we.
You gotta hit us with another quote.
But then these people on the podcast, they do a great job with the research. They go.
Is it very detailed? Like they go.
It's detailed. Well, they go. It's only an hour. I'm sure they could do 4 hours, but for the hour, they go into like the meat and potatoes, what you need to know.
Yeah.
And then they don't dive too much in where they found it or why. But then when they talk about like, what's a reason why you'd go to, like, you need to give Americans a reason to support the war in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Well, killing 3,000 Americans at the Twin Towers is a good reason to get that done.
That is true. A lot happened in 2001, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Blueprint. Let's go to Colonel. Do you believe in that shit, Chin?
Yeah. I mean, some of the conspiracies. Now I'm around Sam all the time, right?
He's super balls deep in it.
Yeah. And then Brian's also like no. Sam's like, yes. So I see somewhere in the middle where I'm like,
I'm in the
some of these
middle.
are real.
I'm in the middle. But when you
Oh,
look
you're more in
into
the
it-
middle.
Yeah.
When you look into it, you're just like, God, come on. This
Look
is just
into it.
way too many coincidence.
But yeah, all you gotta do is look into it. But some of those conspiracy theories,
Some are like flat Earth. Get the fuck out of my face.
talking about flat Earth.
I love what he does. Get the fuck out of it.
How about when I get off stage at the Laugh Factory? Right away, you go, bro, I figured out what you look like. I'm like, what? This is from a bunch of other comics. I'm like, what? You're like, you look like a Rottweiler who got his shit together.
Oh, you do, bro. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, dude.
Grab that mic, son.
Look, bro, look.